was Ministerio Amor y Adoración right here. That was Magnificat, which, if you don't know what Magnificat is that part of the Gospel of Luke, where Mary begins with, "My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord." That whole section of the Gospel of Luke is called the Magnificat. And so that was the Ministerio Amor and Adoración singing Magnificat. And if you ever thought of it, I mean, you hear all the applause at the end. Do you ever think anyone would be so excited about hearing this verse from the Bible? And obviously, yes. And that's one of the great things that Ministerio Amor y Adoración does, along with all the other artists here on Web Radio Canção Nova. We started that off with As Murallas, and obviously that was from their live album, and so that's some of their live material, Amor y Adoración, right here on Web Radio Canção Nova. Well, I've talked to you before, I'm going to talk to you again about a program that they do on Canção Nova called Sorrindo para Vida, and they have various preachers every single week. Just so happens that last week and this week I'm talking about the same preacher, who is Alexandre Oliveira. And you can find Sorrindo para Vida, which means smiling at life. You can find that on YouTube at Sorrindo, Sorrindo Pravida, Sorrindo para Vida, on YouTube. And obviously it's in Portuguese, but at least you get an idea of what they're doing. Well, Alexander did this great preaching the other day where he talked about God's relationship with us. And what he talked about, which I really enjoyed the imagery he used, is imagine there's like an earthquake. And you have the Father and the Son is in a situation where, a building falls on top of him. And so the Father obviously is devastated, and he wants to find his Son, and he right away begins digging, and he calls out to hear his Son's name. And he hears his Son respond, and so he digs harder and harder, and the Son is saying, "Help me, Father," and the Father is digging harder and harder to finally find his Son, and eventually, as he removes every rock piece by piece, listening to his Father, making sure, listening to his Son, and the Father is, listening, "Are you all right, Son? Know that I'm coming. Know that I'm here." That intense drama that happens. And he used that to illustrate this is how the Father looks upon us. We can easily feel that when we get in trouble, when things go wrong, that the Lord turns his back on us. No, he says, he is like that Father and the Son.
De Atlanta, nos Estados Unidos, Canção Nova Web Rádio. Comunicando vida às nações.
The Father is always reaching out to us. And there are so many people you meet from time to time who will say, well, God will give up on me, or I must be so bad that God will give up on me. I've actually heard someone preach that, and I think it drives me crazy when I hear that. No, the Father is desperately to reach out and teach us, to touch us, and desperately to reach out and bring us to salvation. And when we are struggling the most, that's where we experience the most grace. That's what St. Paul says, where sin abounds, grace abounds more. So we look at that. Never give up. Never figure that the Lord has given up on you. And remember that image given to us by Alexandre Oliveira from Sorrindo para Vida, that Father reaching out desperately to save his Son, and you'll have a major understanding of what the Lord is always doing for us and how he is always leading us to become more and more closer to him, because he's always leading us ultimately to this powerful reality of salvation.
Faith in music.